Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are now listening to the greatest podcast on the planet. And I am one of your hosts, Big Jack, a.k.a. The Great One.
What's going on, everybody? It's Buddy, a.k.a. Camouflage, and you are now listening to the Sports Cypher.
This is Marv, and you are now tuned in and tuned up for the Sports Cypher.
What's good? This is Ricardo, a.k.a. the reason why your girl disappears on football Sundays. And you are tuned into the Sports Cypher.
This is Blade, a.k.a. the Ace of Spades. They save the best for last on Sports Cypher.
I'm subscribing to this. Give the people what they want.
Welcome to another episode of the Sports Cypher. On today's episode, the Anthony Davis trade, NBA season wrap-up, Tyson Fury, the boxing match. And the last thing on the list, Buddy's top 30 quarterbacks for this upcoming season. Let's get it started. Jamal, what you got on the Anthony Davis trade?
Man, I think New Orleans did great in this trade. I think 3 first-round picks and 2 starters and plus Josh Hart. How can you get better than that for a contract that was expiring after this year and you weren't going to win anyway with him? I think they're going to get Zion Williamson. They're going to get 2 more. Well, they're going to get another first-round pick this year. Plus, they have 2 more first-round picks. So they have a total of 2 first-round picks for the next 3 years. That is that each draft they have 2 first-round picks for the next 3 years. That is just great. That's the best thing New Orleans has done since Drew Brees and the Saints won the Super Bowl. That is you know.
But but the thing is, what's the difference between the trade that they got now and the trade that
Magic Johnson.
Magic was going to give them? What I don't understand what the difference was.
Nothing really. Just
I don't know the trade. What was the trade? What was the trade?
Basically, it was the
Magic
whole
offered?
Damn team.
What was the trade?
Plus their first round pick.
The only difference is Kuzma not a part of this one
Right.
like he was a part of the last one.
Which,
also,
if you're the Lakers, is huge.
Yes.
I mean, Kuzma's the one who was really worth keeping, in my opinion.
and also the Pelicans have a new GM. They have Dave Griffin, and the old GM.
Well, that's the difference.
Yeah, the old
is the
GM had a
difference.
vendetta
That was
against
the only
Magic
difference.
Johnson, but also the Lakers have Pelinka as the the new GM who wanted Magic Johnson to backstab him.
But the difference.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, it was the same. It was pretty much the same trade, no?
Very similar, yeah.
But the difference is you have GMs that were willing to.
And remember that the ownership of the Pelicans stepped in as well. And it was like, basically, make this happen. So
yeah, because the owner felt it was too good of a trade.
Because common sense would tell you to trade away a player that don't want to be here on the last year of his contract for 3 first-round picks, 2 starters in the backup who's still young, who could develop into a starter.
it was the
That's
best.
just,
Nobody
smart.
could have offered a better
Lakers.
Maybe the Celtics,
that was
but
a deal.
the Celtics would have had to have moved Tatum in that deal.
Yeah, but they didn't want
They didn't want to move Tatum. Yeah.
They didn't
They
want to make.
said they weren't going
Yeah,
to.
they didn't want to move Tatum at all.
And their draft picks aren't as good as
Right.
as the Lakers either. So
Yeah.
Well, that's because the Lakers suck.
at least they did this year. I don't think they're gonna put it like this. I think the Lakers aren't gonna be a lottery team for at least for the next 3-4 years. So let's see how.
I mean, maybe if AD could stay healthy.
Which ain't going to happen.
I think even if AD play, to me, it's more if LeBron stays healthy more than if AD stays
they
healthy.
both need to stay healthy to me, because if LeBron gone and no AD, they're gonna be in like a worse situation. Because like my personal thoughts, how I look at it now, it's a fantastic, awesome trade for New Orleans. But the way I look at it, I was like, man, Lakers, that's a lot, though. And I was almost, as I'm standing here listening to y'all, I'm like, man, I almost wish they just would have waited the 1 year and Davis would have went there. And they wouldn't have had to give up nothing. But also, something else that New Orleans control, which I saw today that they're not going to allow, they can make the trade be a July 30th transaction to where the Lakers would have $32 million to play with if New Orleans, but it's all on New Orleans for they choosing. If they choose to be that gracious to the Lakers, they could make it a July 30th trade, and then the Lakers would have $32 million to go after somebody max, but they're not. They're going to make it a July 6th, which means leave the Lakers with 23, plus you got to take away $4 million because they're going to now have to keep Reggie Bullock. So he's now going to be on the roster for pick up his $4 million bonus.
And Anthony Davis he said that he's not going to save his trade bonus.
Trade is no trade. He's not going to waive his no trade clause. So yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, he only has
he said he was going to resign with the Lakers. Like they had a report came out that.
So he's gonna test free agency. Trust.
Man, and now I heard the Pelicans is trying to move up to number 2 to get RJ, Blade Boy from Canada.
I don't think they should do that. I think they should stay at number 4.
What you think, Blade? Man, you want the North to get Canada
they
ball?
Don't need RJ.
Well, you know what I'm wearing right now, right? I'm wearing. My sister just landed. She just landed from the 6th, and I'm wearing We the North. I'm wearing a shirt.
We the North. I thought you was gonna say you was wearing your Thunder Thongs with the 2 horns on it, bro.
No.
Whoa.
Horn in the back.
No, we're wearing
the horn.
I'm wearing We the North.
The North.
Did you guys see that? What do you guys think about the Claude? You think he's gonna stay? You think he's gonna stay for 5 more years?
I think it's 50-50 on him.
Me too. I agree. I heard I heard a report by Watch. Yeah, he said it's going to be out of the Clippers and Toronto. He believes his personal opinion, nothing.
Yeah, but
nothing tangible.
But Toronto could give him the max, right? They could give him.
That is true. Toronto could pay him more than all the others. And I hear the Knicks are in that.
Oh yeah, the Knicks are in the running too now. Yep. And the Lakers, they're going to make a run.
To say that, but
you know, he's a
agent. He's an agent. Yeah, but he's not Kawhi agent. So I'm like, how you know?
Yeah, but you see, you see the secret sauce is that we got Drake. Drake is flying Kawhi all over the place. He flew him to Vegas in his private jet, and he's whispering in his ear, 5 more years. But, cool.
So like I was saying last week about Kawhi and the dynasty that Toronto could possibly become. Siakam is clearly on a level that he needs to be on, an all-star playing level. You re-sign Kawhi. Kyle Lowry is a champion now. He understands what it takes to get there and take it past there. Van Fleet has stepped up big time in the playoffs. I think that I don't know how Marc Gasol and Ibaka's contract situations are, but I could definitely see Kawhi re-signing with Toronto, and I could also see them getting back to the finals, especially if, since Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris are free agents, who's going to challenge them? Milwaukee could. Mm-hmm. Milwaukee and Toronto are the 2 best teams in the league without this is before free agency, so anything can happen, but Kyrie going to Brooklyn won't change nothing. They still going to be guards. They still ain't got no big man. New York ain't there.
Toronto. But
besides Milwaukee,
because I heard today, like Philly, like Joel and D, they say Philly really thought they could have took Toronto out if they would have, they could have got past everybody to the chip. If they could have just, it wasn't for that bounce that, Kawhi had, they really feel like next year, but they feel like next year, they feel like next year they really do have a shot. And some people also feel today, some experts feel like Milwaukee also have a shot. And they not far off. Toronto not far off from a Milwaukee or a Philadelphia. So the path to the East is not clear as some people may feel. A couple of experts believe that, and that may be true. We got to see what happens in free agency, but the path may not be also clear for them to have an also easy road back to the championship again in the East.
But see, I disagree with that. I feel like Kawhi's shot was part of the reason why Toronto and Kawhi is great, because you could say Philly was close and they took them to Game 7 and stuff, which they did take them to Game 7. But remember, Butler is a free agent. Tobias Harris is a free agent.
Yeah, well, Philly was trying to do the same thing what Toronto was doing. They were in it to win it for this year.
Uh-huh.
So now they gotta pay the piper. They gotta release. I don't know if they're gonna keep all these guys. I don't know if they're gonna keep all these guys.
I don't know if they can.
Yeah, the question mark with Toronto is just as much as with Philly, bro. Because if Kawhi don't go back to Toronto, dynasty over.
Oh well, yeah, obviously if Kawhi don't,
but also if Butler and Harris, you never know what they might. Okay, fellas, we take something a little cheaper. Like, it's not outside the realms of possibility if they want to take something a little cheaper to stay there. Especially Butler, who is motivated about getting the ring, but he also motivated about going to LA as well. So we'll see.
But this my thing though. You talking, which is fine. We can speculate, but I'm talking about as the rosters are currently constructed. Toronto has a better chance of going back to the finals than a Philly.
But currently constructed, Tobias Harris.
Yeah, we'd have to keep them on the team then, because if we're keeping Kawhi on the team, unless you're saying that.
No, they're free agents. They're free.
But that's what I'm saying. But it's if for them teams too. That's what I'm saying. It's always a year to your game.
But what you're saying is two players.
No, I'm just saying if, regardless, if they free agents, dog. That's an if for all of them.
Everyone's a free agent. That's what
exactly.
They're in the same, like I said, they're in the same boat. But
we were talking about Toronto.
Yeah, but Toronto is in the same boat as Philly, because they all have free agents. So
exactly, that's important for agents.
So if we say the roster, 2018-19 roster is the same,
I see it different.
I see what Jamal is saying. Jamal is saying it'll be harder for the Philadelphia 76ers to keep their team together.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be harder.
Toronto, who only got to really re-sign one person.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to be harder, but I'm just saying all free agents, and they all in the realm of them all free agents, that's all equal playing ground, dog.
But one.
But we also talking about who can challenge them. Period.
That was the question.
I don't think the Phillies are going to be
one is totally
no, but you got to remember
the
question. If we digress back to the original question was who could challenge Toronto in the East,
and it all depends on free agency.
And I said, if Toronto re-signs Kawhi, nobody in the East can challenge them besides.
And I feel like if the Philly get Butler and Harris back, they can challenge them.
So here's my thing, though. I think even with, let's say that you just said exactly what I was going to say, Jamal. I was like, the Philadelphia 76ers will go as far as Joel Embiid is willing to take them. Physically, health-wise, and when I said that way back, when we was talking about, way back when we was talking about MVPs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, and I said Joel Embiid, he's great, but Philly, I keep calling them the Phillies. My bad, y'all. Baseball on the brain. The 76ers.
I thought you was just saying Philly, like for Philly 76ers.
Nah, I kept calling them like the Philadelphia Phillies. But, they're only going to go as far. But, this is a great segue into just the NBA recap in general, right, guys? Because, if we're going to talk about the East. So, nobody's mentioned Boston. Nobody think that Boston is going to be a contender. I thought they were a big letdown in 2018-19. I thought they were going to be a much more competitive team.
Yeah, they're a big letdown.
I look at Boston like Al Horford's getting older. Kyrie's gone, even though I think they're better without Kyrie. Tatum and Brown have to really elevate their play.
Well, fellas.
Rozier has to step up without Kyrie there. Marcus Smart has to elevate. I think Boston could be.
But fellas, let me let y'all know the news that dropped today,
though.
Of course, the Celtics came out and said they had zero talks with Kyrie Irving, and he's ghosted them. Also, Al Horford
we already knew that,
out his contract, and they was talking contracts. Now, Al Horford gonna become a free agent because he discontinued his contract talks with the Celtics. So no Al Horford now. So
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So yeah, okay. So now they just got
That
Aaron
team- that
Baines.
team's
They just
falling
got
apart.
Baines.
The young cat Williams. They're just gonna be really, really young, and
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, what? Is Terry Rozier a restricted free
I think
agent?
their style of basketball.
What he
Restricted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
I think their style of basketball is good, though. I think they have a good team without Kyrie. I think they're real.
But whatever somebody get, put a
a
little price on Terry Rozier, man. That's gonna be another piece gone.
But there's definitely some things that the Celtics could do. You know what thing what always baffled me about the Celtics the last 4 or 5 years, basically, when they made that trade, basically, and robbed the Brooklyn Nets, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got all these draft picks, right? But nobody wants them. Like, they got like draft picks for days, but most of their draft picks are like
they've been using them though. I mean, how many? They only got like what one or maybe 2 Brooklyn picks left. They've been using them.
I'm not saying they're not using them, but I mean, what have they really gotten for them? Like
exactly
except
outside of Tatum.
Jason Tatum, right? It's outside of Jason Tatum.
And was Brown part of the shooting guard? Brown, was he part of the Brooklyn pick as well?
Say that again.
I said, was Brown part of the one of Brooklyn picks as well?
Might have been. I don't remember. I remember he was picked later in the first round. It might have been. I don't know if that was one of the Nets picks though.
Okay.
Could have been.
Okay.
Could have been.
Well,
and I think Brown is just okay though. I don't think he's like. A lot of people rank Jaylen Brown much higher than I do. Defensively, he's nice, but you know what I mean.
I think that was because of that playoff that year in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I look at him as like a 6th, 7th man kind of thing.
You don't look at man. He could be a starting.
No, I don't think he can score consistently enough to be a starting shooting guard.
So you think he's just off the bench?
Yeah, I think he's a good 6th man, or maybe even a 7th man. Because I don't even think he can score well enough as a shooting guard, small forward to be a. Well, shooting guard, really.
Yeah. He can play a little small.
Well, in that case, they don't have a starting shooting guard because Marcus Smart ain't a starting shooting guard.
You know, we know he out there for that D though. He out there to bring that D to the game.
Yeah.
And the streak.
Yeah, he does bring the D, but you can't win. Win.
Well, I mean, he's part of a piece. You know, if you still got your boy Haywood. They paid. He needs to step it up. He has never.
No, see, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to ever be like he was before.
Yeah, so Celtics, I mean, as a recap of the season, man, disappointed in Houston, They're really disappointed in Houston. And they run for me as a recap, man. My pick was Philly from the day one. Philly won, and they was 7 bounces away from making it to the next round. Them seven bounces and they synced in, killed them, man. But surprises. Brooklyn, they run. That was
Brooklyn was a nice
pleasant surprise. That was a pleasant surprise. And
you know who was the biggest surprise for me this year? They didn't make the playoffs, but I thought the Sacramento Kings showed some really nice things this year.
Yes, sir. I thought
that's a team on the come up right there.
Yes, sir. Even though Harrison Barnes is opt out his $25 million contract, so I think he's expecting to get $25 million plus more on the open market.
That's funny. He played like Tridash for them anyway.
My sleeper was Portland. I thought Portland.
Oh yeah. You sure did love Portland. Yeah, Blaze. So you was pretty. So was you surprised how far they went, Blaze? Or you kind of knew it?
No, I was actually surprised. I was rooting for them. I was rooting for them because they were like a sleeper to me.
Mm-hmm. And I'll stand by this. My bad, Camel. I'll stand by this all day. Nurkic doesn't get hurt.
I was just about to ask Blade about that. Yeah, I was just gonna ask Blade if they would have had Nurkic, how you felt about that Portland versus Golden State then.
I don't know. Maybe the thing with Golden State right now in the future, Golden State ain't gonna be Golden State anymore because so right now, like I know we talked about this off air, but Vegas has Golden State as the number one to for next year to going back. And they have the Lakers for number 2. I don't know what's going on in Vegas, and I'm a Vegas.
I don't know.
guy.
I saw
it's
Lakers
split.
at number
The
one.
Lakers are one. They got the Lakers one.
Yeah, Lakers at number one now.
At least
what you were saying, Jack?
Oh, they changed it
I
because
don't even see how Vegas could. I don't even see how Vegas could have those listings up there like that. I mean,
they always do.
KD's gone for the whole year.
They have to
put them up there.
Guys that want to gamble, so you could get more money if you
Like,
gamble right now. Like you bet,
you get better odds. Yep.
You get better odds. So they have to do that. That's the way they do it. But,
Right.
So they change. So it changed because a couple of days ago. Well, I guess because of the AD trade. I guess.
Yep. But it was actually before.
It was
the
number
AD
one before
trade.
the AD trade.
No,
it was number one before the AD trade.
because I checked.
Nah, they spoke on SportsCenter today. They was number one before the AD trade.
Yeah. Really?
Yep.
Oh
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because right after the playoffs, right after the Toronto won, they had the Warriors as number 1.
Actually, I put the Bleacher Report in the group. They had Lakers at number 1.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact day, but yeah, we had a discussion. I was like, I can't believe
So
it.
basically, Vegas is predicting the Lakers going to take it next year.
And that was before the AD trade.
I don't see that.
So before I forget, since Cam said Philly was 7 bounces away, you see, people don't want to give Kawhi his credit. They weren't 7 bounces away. They were a Kawhi Leonard away. Kawhi is the reason. Kawhi is the reason Toronto won. Kawhi is the only reason that Toronto made it as far as they did. They had
not the same players.
Not the same players.
Be factual, bro.
Wait a minute. Let me finish.
Not the same players.
Let me finish, bro. Let you finish, bro. Let me finish. I feel like Kanye when he jumped on stage with Taylor Swift. Let me finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
Oh, let get the baby the tissue.
You got a bottle of Henny with you too?
Man, let me finish. Bruh, let me finish, bruh. Did they not have Pascal Siakam? Did they not have Serge Ibaka? Did they not have Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet?
The only player that they had was Marc Gasol. Yeah.
Marc Gasol and Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, I can talk now? Because you say that you finished, bro. I'm just...
No.
Okay, don't pause like you done, cry, baby. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I said I'm done, bro. They're not listening, bro.
Nah, they didn't have the Siakam they had last year. They had
but they had
21 point per game.
But they had him.
And a 6-7 rebound per game.
Siakam.
You talk about being factual.
But they had
him. You can't say Siakam wasn't there. You can say Siakam.
But Siakam wasn't the Siakam this year. He was in previous years. And the numbers shows that. That's why everybody had. Let me finish, Jamal, let me finish. Now,
but how do we know that he wasn't better because Kawhi Leonard was there?
But at the end of the day, he still improved. His numbers were still different this year from last year. So that's a big difference, bro. When somebody take a quantum leap, he's up for most improved player. Excuse Jamal, everybody. I see he like to ask for quietness, but don't like to give it back. But at the end of the day, they had a different Siakam who's up for most improved player this year, who's probably going to win it, and that's not the same Siakam, dog.
So that's factually, so this is like.
But they are the same person, though, right?
Different level, bro. We know people take different levels, dog. Come on, Cardo.
Okay,
come on, bro. So people play at the same. So Siakam play at the same level this year he did the year before.
But that wasn't the question.
No, I'm asking you. Did Siakam play the same this year, 21 points per game, as he did the year before, factually scoring wise?
No, he became a star
so they
this
are the
year.
Same person,
Thank
right?
you.
He became a star.
Thank you.
Well, we mentioned this the other day, but do you guys know that Kawhi and Stinky P were the second best after Jordan?
P.
I was gonna say,
talking about Siakam?
That's his.
Stinky Pete.
That's it. That's his nickname.
Okay, I didn't know that was his nickname. I did not know that. Ma, you knew that?
Is that a nickname you made up?
No, that's his nickname.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know. My bad.
Pete?
My bad. I'm sorry.
No, actually, no. No, sorry.
I've never been that close.
My bad. It's not. It's Spicy Pete. It's Spicy Pete.
That's even worse. What the hell?
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Spicy P and Stinky P.
Okay, Spicy P. As I was saying, they got the second best scoring for playoffs after Jordan and Pippen. You guys?
Yeah, they were fabulous in the playoffs.
Tyson Fury, man, Blades. We'll let you start this off, man. What do you think about the Tyson Fury match?
That was a good fight, but I honestly, Ricardo said this. I think it was like the guy wasn't up for pretend. He wasn't up for that fight. The guy, his contender, it wasn't like the thing I liked. It was entertaining because he came out dressed because he's a 6'9", 265 Irish British gentleman, and he came out in pretending. Not pretending. He came out looking like
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Creed. He was wearing Apollo Creed's American shorts, and he was dancing to James Brown, living in America. It was hilarious, man. And then he decided to do the Apollo Creed dance. He was dancing. The guy couldn't. He put his hands down. The guy couldn't hit him. The guy missed 4 times, and then he hit the guy and knocked him out.
I would have kicked him.
Man, I watched that fight today, man. Again, man, that dude, he was destroying that dude before they had the guitar because he was a TKO. But they had because he knocked him out. He knocked him down the first time and got back up into the first. But man, he started unloading on that dude.
Did you see the part when he was dancing and the guy couldn't hit him? The guy was it was like a movie. It was like he swung 4 times. The guy he was just moving his head like you can't hit me.
Now, Blade, I want you and Jack may know this. I don't know if Carter or Maul know this, but I'm about to ask a question. Y'all can elaborate to me and some of the listeners. So when he came out in round 1, he came out with an orthodox fighting stance. Round 2, they say he came out with a southpaw stance. So what exactly is a southpaw that changed that? Like what was that?
Okay, southpaw is when you lead with your left. Some boxers are right-handed, and some boxers are left-handed. And when you're left-handed, it's harder to fight with, especially if you're a right-handed boxer. It's harder to combat that, So you're coming off with your left hand. That's what southpaw means. Okay,
and he also said he gained 12 pounds of muscle for this fight. He said he's in the best shape of his life. He also said he feel like it's him and Wilder and Ruiz is not even a part of the big 3. He says only 2. It's him and Wilder.
Yeah, well,
they better not sleep on Ruiz. They better not sleep on him. That's what they bet.
Yeah, but the thing about Ruiz, I don't know if Ruiz could take Wilder. Like Wilder, I have to give Wilder. He could take a punch. Fury could take a punch. He took Wilder's punch. Wilder knocked him down. Wilder, because that fight, Fury was winning. Fury was winning that fight. He was boxing him, and then Wilder knocked him out in the last round. And then everyone thought it was over. And then, Fury jumped back up. Like, I was like, everyone, you guys, you got to listen to that. Go watch that fight. That fight is an amazing fight. He jumped back up, and it was a draw. That's how they got a draw. So he could take Wilder's punch. Fury could take Wilder's punch. I don't think Ruiz could take Wilder's punch. Honestly, because he couldn't. He got knocked down remember that round? He got knocked down first, right? In the last fight with Jacobs, he got knocked down.
So when do you think we'll see another Wilder Fury match? Anytime soon?
No, January. They said next year.
Okay.
Yeah, next year sometime. Right now, they got a fight pushing for September 21st or October 5th in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, but
Fury, it's not Wilder though. It's not Wilder.
If Ruiz holds on to the belt.
Well, he lost one already. He lost one already, right? He lost one because he didn't. Because
fought already?
No, they didn't fight. See what happens. He has 3 belts, and all these have mandatories, And Jacobs never did the mandatories. He wasn't doing the mandatories. So now they're taking one of the belts away because Ruiz didn't do a mandatory. So he has to do a mandatory. They're saying if you don't do the mandatory, then we're stripping you of the belt. But Ruiz already signed the contract to find Jacobs again. So that's the problem. So he might lose one belt.
But see, and I don't agree with that.
I agree with you. I agree with you too. I don't agree.
Jacobs was the one who failed to hold up to his contract.
Exactly.
He lost the belt, so you can't penalize the champion for what the old champion does.
Exactly.
I don't agree with
Boxing
that.
got some.
That is crazy.
That's bull.
Well, you remember?
That's bull. You ain't even gave Ruiz a chance to defend the title.
Mm-hmm.
And now you already stripping one of them.
So Blaze, so you say Wilder have one right now?
Yeah, Wilder has.
Okay, it makes sense now because he said something in the post interview about he want to take something green, the green belt from Wilder. I'm like, wait, when did Wilder get a belt? And I was kind of confused with that.
There's 6 belts. There's 6 belts, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the name has 3. Ruiz has 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think Wilder has 2. And I know Fury has 1. So there's 6 belts. Some people don't even care about the belts, but there's 6 belts. There's 6 federations. So that's where it is right now.
Which is absolutely absurd.
Well,
it is
6 federations.
It's all about money. We could make let's go make a federation. Get Big Jack to fight. Well, no, we have a federation right now. We have Jamal versus Camouflage.
There you go. Round 1.
Nah, Big Jack got fighter. Big Jack got 1.9%. Hey,
when we gonna get another Blaze versus Cam like before with the Colin Kaepernick thing?
Nah, man. We gonna get Blaze. We gonna get Big Jack to fight everybody, bro. He got 1.9% body fat, man. Big Jack
Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want that hate coming at you.
Yeah, we could do our own federation. We could make our own federation. I don't know.
The sports Cypher Federation, and Big Jack is our champion.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone would come watch us, but
I'm gonna call it the WTF. That's what I'm gonna call. I'm gonna call the federation WTF.
And then we'll get Kanan. He said, "Y'all get ready to give the people what they want."
He could be the ring announcer.
No, I like the old days when they had all those hot chicks being the ring announcers.
Holding the card girls.
Yeah, the card girls. Yeah,
the card girls. I remember those.
Any women listening, we love to have you as card girls in your bikini.
No. I don't go there.
Not at all.
No.
But I can go there, ladies. I can, and as well as Jamal and Ricardo, we can. Ricardo, aka Maximum Carnage.
The views of Camouflage are his own.
Indeed. Indubitably.
Are y'all saying this with women in bikinis holding up cards? How dare we?
You act like we. Hey, you act like we Castillo.
Damn.
Hey, we better get our Ray Charles on.
See with your hands.
Feel them.
Get the Ray Charles on. It's good to go. I ain't feeling no wrist.
You don't want to feel on no wrist?
I might start out.
All right, so you're gonna bust the president. You're gonna grab them.
No. No presidential pardons over here.
Man, y'all,
I'm out of here.
Tonight,
the thoughts of Blades
are his own.
I said you're gonna bust the president. What's going
on tonight, man?
All right, and finally, Buddy, aka Camouflage, top quarterbacks for this season coming up. Cam.
All right, let me let some of the people know.
Run your list down so we can chop it up and destroy it.
All right. No problem, my brother. No problem, man. Listen, everybody. I'm gonna break the list down into tiers. I heard Maul say go 5 at a time. I'm gonna go tier at a time, Maul. And for every one of the listeners, I have also put the rankings in the Sports Cypher group, Facebook group, if y'all want to go there and check it out.
Props to Cam for making the list, because ain't none of us made a list. So
Yep. So I'm gonna start off with the first tier. It's gonna be 4 quarterbacks in this tier. Number 1, Aaron Rodgers. Number 2, Andrew Luck. Number 3, Deshaun Watson. Number 4, Pat Mahomes. Now, let me tell you about this tier. Like, if all those quarterbacks were available, that's how I would pick it. But I would have no problem if somebody had Pat Mahomes at number one or Luck at number one, because this is one big tier.
So
I expect
these
all
four
these quarterbacks
are interchangeable.
Yes, because I expect all these quarterbacks will have about 40 touchdowns.
Yeah, but you're saying you would put Deshaun Watson over Pat Mahomes?
Yeah, me personally, I would take that. Me personally, but if you pick Pat Mahomes before Watson, I wouldn't like scoff at it. But I can break you down if you want to know why I have Mahomes at number 4. If y'all got any questions,
is it because
about
Watson got better receivers at this point? No Tyreek Hill.
Well, I'm gonna answer this first, Maul. I'm gonna answer this first before yours, Maul.
That's not final. That's not final about Tyreek Hill though. They say he might play.
Yeah, but also they pretty much saying he broke the players' domestic violence or rules or whatever, which some people say it's going to be a 6 to 8 game suspension, which until I hear otherwise, I'm counting the suspension in right now. And don't forget, like, these rankings, I will update it as I get more information. But as of right now, Mahomes at number 4 because Tyreek Hill, 1,213 touchdowns, 87 catches, will be out for a big amount of time. So they will have to go with Sammy Watkins and the cast of other players they have on the team with Travis Kelce. So, and one thing I have him at number 4 because I also believe in Andy Reid's system as a offensive play caller and the easy passes he creates for quarterbacks like Pat Mahomes. So he will still, to me, play great, have somewhere around 40 total touchdowns between rushing and receiving.
Yeah.
And, until they get Hill back. But Hill, to me, is a big hit. So, Jamal, you have a question you was wondering?
Yeah, why you got Deshaun Watson up there?
Okay. Elementary, my good man. Elementary. So not only does Deshaun Watson get a fully healthy Hopkins, who we realize now, he said he played half the season with separated shoulder and a sore ankle. So I'm like, man, this dude was still balling with these ailments, like a healthy him with a healthy Will Fuller. Also with the other little slot receiver,
Will Fuller for what? How long is he going to last? What, 4 weeks? Because he's always...
No, let him finish because I want to... Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't knocking if you feel like how long he's going to last, but as of right now, he's going to have all of them healthy. And also, Watson bringing over 500 yards rushing and rushing touchdowns. So I believe he have a chance to touch 40 total touchdowns. Not just receiving, it may be 8 rushing, 30, 32, 33 passing. I believe he's going to have somewhere over 4,300. I believe their defense is not that great, and they're going to be in shootouts, and he's going to have to come back by pass a running game like that. So it's really going to be on him in that receiving corps.
Okay, well, me personally, I don't think Deshaun Watson. I like Deshaun Watson. I have since he was in Clemson. I mean, I wouldn't put him in that first tier, especially because he's inconsistent still. Even with healthy receivers, he's still inconsistent at best. It's games where he puts up over 300 yards passing, and then there's other games where he can barely touch 200. So to me, that's a little too inconsistent to be top tier. But that's how you feel.
But don't forget, Maul. They scaled him back too because he was dealing with injuries. When he got fully healthy, he was unleashed toward the end of the season.
That's another thing too. He stays hurt. He stays hurting himself because he likes to run so much. That's another thing too. But also, I do agree with you about Aaron Rodgers at number 1. I do agree with you that Luck is in that top tier. I don't know about Mahomes after just 1 year with all of the weapons and the coaching scheme and that he has. I mean, I know all of that plays a part, but it was just 1 year. I don't know. If he does it again, then yeah, I agree with you. But since it was just 1 year, I don't know.
Okay. Jack, Blaze, Carter, any other questions?
Well, my point, I would put Luck number 1. I'll put Aaron Rodgers number 2. I wouldn't have Deshaun at all in the top 4. I would move up someone else.
Who would you move up and replace Deshaun Watson with? Just curious.
Either Russell Wilson. I would move him up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'll move him up. I think he's more consistent than
or Drew Brees or Phillip Rivers.
I was going to say Drew Brees next. I would, but let's move. I was going to do that when Cam went down more, I would say like those guys, I would move them up higher.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, maybe.
I
will agree.
Wait till we get to Brady.
I agree with Buddy with Patrick Mahomes. And Jamal too. I'm like, man, he had a great year last year, but if people think that he could duplicate that with Tyreek Hill potentially being out for
and
6,
Kareem,
right, and no Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, but that, what's the name? What's camouflage?
Yeah, you talking about Williams. You're talking about Williams Damian Williams had 10 touchdowns in 6 games. Yeah, 10 total touchdowns.
He stepped up. So
that was with Tyreek and Travis Kelce, and
I've seen players catch fire for a few weeks. You know what I mean? In a season, whatever have you. I just want to not to say that the Williams can't be a good running back in this league, especially 10 touchdowns is 10 touchdowns, right? But I'm just kind of still curious to see because, like I said, I've seen running backs have a great 4 or 5 weeks at the end of seasons when everybody else is hurt and they're fresh because they've hardly played. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna go down my next. This is my
4?
tier 2 right here. These quarterbacks right here is in my tier 2. Number 5, I have Baker, the baby maker, Baker Mayfield. Yeah, I have number 6. I have Matt Ryan. Number 7, Russell Wilson, Mr.
Secure the bag.
Got
the bag.
We got the bag, baby.
And number 8.
Nah, that's all. That's all.
That's it for your second tier.
Yes, sir.
You just did 3, right?
Who was right before?
3 is in my second tier.
Okay. Who was right before Russell Wilson?
Matt Ryan.
And then Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, number 5 Baker Mayfield, 6 Matt Ryan,
I don't know.
7 Russell Wilson.
Baker Mayfield is too green. He only I wouldn't put him up that high. It was his first year.
I'll put him up there. Just because Odell's there. I'm sorry, Odell make Eli look good. So I mean.
Well, Ricardo, let me elaborate with you guys. Let me elaborate.
Well, hold on before you elaborate. I would switch out just from right now. Russell Westbrook and
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson and Matt Ryan. I would have switched them out with the Deshaun and
Pat Mahomes.
Pat Mahomes. Yeah.
Oh, so you thought you'd have put them in tier 1 and
they would have been in tier 1 and Pat Mahomes. Now, yeah, I would have put them up there and Pat Mahomes and Deshaun, at least in the second tier until I hear the rest of it. But
at least I would have just switched Russell and Deshaun. At least I could understand why Mahomes was up there. I wouldn't have put Mahomes up there, but at least I could understand.
Nah.
Well, I can answer all your questions. I'm gonna start with the Baker thing.
I want to hear this.
Okay, Baker Mayfield. What he started 10 games, 27 touchdowns. In 10 games, 9 games he was started in. The offensive coordinator, Freddie Kitchens, the head coach now, and they brought in the OC who led the league in passing attempts last year. Now, I know they're going to be balanced, but with those weapons, like teams going to have to focus in on a plethora of receiving weapons and a running game, which a high-scoring, high-moving offense, they will have a chance to put up tons of fantasy points. To me, I think Baker at number 5 is just due. I think he could have somewhere between 30, 35 passing touchdowns. He's mobile, may get you 1 or 2 rushing touchdowns or rushing yards. And I just think with the weapons he have, he could really be unleashed this year.
Well, I honestly don't think he's good. I wouldn't put him as number 5 though. Maybe number 10, maybe 12. Yeah, the thing about it is, honestly, he's got a lot of weapons. His team is stacked. He's got studs all on there, but I don't know.
So he threw 27 touchdowns without a lot of weapons. Man.
How many picks did he have?
I'm not sure. Carter, you can check on his interceptions. I'm not sure.
How many times was he sacked? How many fumbles?
Echo.
Oh, I don't know how many times he was sacked, man. The old line is maybe the weakest part.
Baker Mayfield have
too, though. You know.
This might answer your question. In 14 games in 2018, Baker Mayfield threw 14 interceptions.
14 interceptions.
Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Yeah,
but that was his rookie season, though.
Yeah, his rookie season. Yeah, but a
But
lot of
just to
guys
be
come
in
out
the
in the
second
rookie
tier,
season and they're good.
just to
Yeah,
be in
that's
the second tier.
I
with
don't think he should be in the
14
second tier.
That's a lot.
But I think we're thinking that he's going to be better than he was last year. He's seen professional defenses. He's seen professional schemes now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
number 5,
Yeah.
Ricardo,
Yeah.
number 5.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not. I'm just saying I think he's going to be
But you
improved. I don't know
you gotta
how
think
much
too, though.
improved.
These are fantasy ratings, so these rushing yards and rushing touchdowns is just as good as passing yards and passing
Right.
touchdowns. So
Yeah. But I do
can't
think
disagree.
he will take a net. Me personally, I think he's taking the next quantum leap. If anybody don't agree, I'm not mad
I
at it.
can't
But I think
disagree
he's
with
taking
that, especially adding Odell.
Jarvis
that.
Landry,
And Landry's not. And
Njoku.
Landry is not a number one receiver, y'all. I'm sorry.
David and Njoku taking a step forward.
I think
and have Callaway taking a step forward from his rookie year.
And
Kareem Hunt gonna be back with Nick Chubb.
The only thing that's really good about it is that the offensive coordinator was the same offensive coordinator from when they were in college, right? It was the same one?
No. He was the offensive coordinator last year. He's the head coach now.
Yeah, the coach was the same.
I think.
Well, for me, I mean, I know receivers and everything. Good running back and stuff is good for the quarterback, but I always look at, does he have the same, or did they improve his offensive line? Because that's the first line of the defense. If he ain't got a good offensive line, all this other stuff is just irrelevant because he gonna be on the back most of the damn season.
He is an elusive quarterback. He is mobile. So I mean,
he runs.
Having obviously, the better the O line, the better the quarterback's going to perform. But
but he can throw on a run. He can definitely throw on a run.
Can I replace Matt Ryan with the rookie? What's the rookie's name?
The number one pick,
Kyler Murray.
Yes.
You want to put Kyler Murray up at number 7?
Oh God,
number 6.
The guy.
Nah, you can have that.
Number 7.
I'm gonna get there when I get there, Mo. I'm gonna get there when I get there.
Number 7.
I'm like, who he throwing to?
I'm gonna let you know about Russell. Why Russell at number 7? I'm gonna let you know about Russell at number 7.
But Arizona did pick up a lot of wide receivers. They picked up like 5 wide receivers in the draft.
That's nice.
Yeah,
but who are they?
But we gonna get there, yo. We gonna get there. We gonna get there. We gonna get there, yo.
Ricardo, I agree with you. He'd be in my 20th. He's the second quarterback I'm picking up. I'm not.
So go ahead on tier 3. Go ahead.
I got to talk about Russell Wilson. Why I have him at number 7? That's the question. Well, the reason I have Russell Wilson right quick to fly through him. Seattle was the team with the least amount of passing attempts, but Russell Wilson was so efficient. He had 30+ touchdowns. Also, him and the Seattle Seahawks rushing the ball so much, and he had the least amount of passing attempts. That means his upside is not as good as the guys that have in front of him. Who some of those quarterbacks had more than 150 more passing attempts than Russell Wilson. And we all know Seattle. Brian Schottenheimer trying to run the ball real heavy with Chris Carson.
Offense. Yeah.
That's what they're doing. He's just really efficient. He's so good, man. He got 32 touchdowns passing last year off the league least amount of passing attempts. Off those passing attempts alone, I can't give him the upside of a Rodgers and up in tier 1 because he don't give you the chances or the attempts to make it to tier 1.
Yeah, but but hold on. Don't in fantasy football, don't they count when your quarterback runs? When a quarterback runs, he's a running quarterback. So that compensates for don't you think it does?
Yeah, but he still wasn't
more than him.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson had more rushing yards and rushing touchdowns than Russell Wilson. But y'all didn't like that in tier 1. But you want Russell Wilson, who don't have nowhere near the passing attempts of Deshaun Watson in tier 1.
But he's more efficient than Deshaun.
But he don't have the chances to put up more points than Watson. Watson has more chances because henceforth he has more attempts.
No.
Russell Wilson is just more consistent.
Not in fantasy from the numbers last year if you compare him to Watson.
See, I think that's where we're getting. Yeah, sorry.
You misinterpreted what I was saying. I'm not saying that Russell Wilson put up more numbers.
But that's what we talking about fantasy, though.
Hold on.
Let me finish my sentence, bro. Let me finish my sentence, and then you'll know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he put up more numbers than him fantasy-wise. I'm just saying Watson had bigger games than Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson had less valleys than Watson. So, yeah, Watson had more numbers, but consistent-wise, as far as game-to-game go, Watson might show up with 13 fantasy points, and then the next week show up with 35. With Russell showing up with 20
Yeah,
each week.
I will agree with that. At least last season.
Really, after the show, I'm gonna go through his game log with you one by one to let you know Russell had an 8-point game.
You can because I had Deshaun Watson, bro. You can.
We will, bro.
Okay, but the thing on my question, so you're saying that Deshaun Watson had total fantasy points, had more total fantasy points than Russell Wilson. Is that what you're trying to say?
He probably
based off I'm not for sure off the head, but I would definitely put my name on that he had more fantasy points.
I would have to go look and see that one.
My next tier is a bunch of tiers right here. I got a bunch of players in these tiers. Let me see. I left off at number 7, number 8, and my tier 3. And my tier 3 is gonna be kind of long. So it's gonna be a bunch of quarterbacks in tier 3 because to me they're all a toss up. It's just a matter of what you like personally. Number 8, I have Cam Newton. Number 9, I have Drew Brees. Number 10, I have Carson Wentz. 11, Jameis Winston. 12, Jared Goff. 13, Phillip Rivers. 14, Kyler Murray.
What?
You're 10 and 11.
Phillip Rivers behind Jared Goff.
Let him finish the tier.
10 and 11. 10 and 11th. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
Let him finish the tier.
Yeah, I finished the tier. That was 8 to 14.
I'm just like, how Jameis Winston ahead of some of those people?
That's why I said 10 and 11. Jameis might not even play. Next year he might not even be playing football. He might be a backup.
Yeah.
Above Phillip Rivers?
Mm-hmm. So which one you want me to speak on first? Y'all want to speak on Jameis?
You please do on Jameson for me.
Okay,
why
y'all.
you got him as high as
you do? And Carson Wentz. Okay. 10 and 11.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Jameis Winston. Now we all know they have a coach named Bruce Arians who's known for passing the ball a lot. He helped rejuvenate Carson Palmer's career, and Carson Palmer has 2 great years under.
Carson Palmer was already good before that.
You better go check the numbers before you say that.
He was garbage.
You better go check them numbers before that in Oakland, baby.
Wait, hold on. You're saying that Carson Palmer's first 5 years?
No. I'm talking about the 5 years before his last 5 years before Arians became his coach for the Cardinals.
I'm talking about when he was with Cincinnati. He was already
but I'm talking about more recent than that, Mo. I'm talking about recent.
Wait, hold on.
Camouflage is right. He's right.
No, but what me and Jamal are saying, he made somebody good who already proved to be good, though. Like,
yes.
But let me finish, bro.
Let me explain it. The first 5 years he was good in Cincinnati, but then when he went to Oakland, he was doo-doo. He was garbage. And then he went to Arizona, and then he revived them. He made them better. So he came back. So those 5 years, you can't count the first 5 years of his career. Those are
what? Why not?
First
because he had injuries.
Yes, you can.
ACL came after them first 5 years.
Right.
In the playoff when he told ACL,
because
he became a different quarterback after that as well.
Fantasy never good.
Because fantasy football is what have you done for me lately?
Jameis was never good. That's the point that me and Carter was saying.
But let me finish. Let me finish also why Jameis up there. Because if you put Jameis Winston numbers last year and Ryan Fitzpatrick together as one quarterback, there was the second.
Why? No, I wouldn't do that.
Why? Because of the offense they ran and it was such pass heavy.
You had me.
There was such a listen, bro. Let me finish, man. Let me finish, Maul. Let me finish, bro. And that's a big part of fantasy. Playing from behind is a big part because you get the passing attempts to put up fantasy points, bro. That's why I talked about attempts.
So you're saying Tampa's gonna be so bad that they're gonna be throwing the ball all second half.
Not just that, bro. But let me elaborate.
Let me just say something. That's the reason why people pick the old boy from Detroit because they're always behind. I refuse to say his name because he lost me money. He's always behind, and you'll be at the beginning of the first half. He'll have 0 points, and then at the end of the game, he'll have like 30.
To be fair though, if Jameis Winston would be lucky if he had any kind of career like Matthew Stafford had, though. I mean, he's not
correct.
even on Matthew Stafford's level. He's really not.
Yeah, Cam, you tripping with this one, bro. I would.
Yeah.
And as I finish, and
I understand, Cam. I understand your what you're basing everything on, but Jameis Winston, I just can't.
I mean, I can feel you, but let me finish also why I feel like he's up there. I've been trying to do that the last 10 minutes. So also he has Mike Evans, who had 1,500 yards with him last year. He has Chris Godwin, up and comer, big time player, with O.J. Howard as a third-year tight end who made big strides last year. So the weapons he have receiving, and them going to be in the game strip where they're going to be passing the ball a lot, because they led the league in passing attempts last year. Now the offensive coordinator left and went to Cleveland, but also Arians is a pass heavy coach itself. So that's why we'll see in my receiver list.
Can I point out one thing?
I want to point out something.
You mentioned Mike Evans had 1,500 yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of those yards? Hold on, not even. How many of those yards was Fitzpatrick to Mike Evans, though?
Yeah, Fitzpatrick threw some yards with him too, as well as Winston. That's why.
But I'm saying you said 1,500 yards because I'm like that. I don't know if that really counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But camouflage. You got to admit. Okay, you got to admit that Mike Evans was better with Fitzmagic than he was with Jameis.
Well, I'll have to go and break that down.
Because I had him in one. You do that because I had him in one of my leagues.
Yeah, and I had him too as well.
I know for sure that Fitzpatrick made Deshaun Jackson look young again. I know that.
And speaking of Deshaun Jackson, Carson Wentz. Why I have him at number 10? I believe he could go back. Something to like
he can fly.
Something to like he was in his MVP season. He has Deshaun Jackson, who still got the speed and the juice. To go with Jeffries, to go with Nelson Aguilar, JJ Ortega-Whiteside. Also, they have two awesome tight ends. Ertz and Dallas Goedert, who I think will take a major. He will take a major step this year. This dude got receiving weapons out the backfield with Miles Sanders, and I heard that Sproles supposed to come back this year too. So this dude surrounded by receiving talent, man. The defense, once again, the defense not good. Their secondary is not good at all. So this dude would be in scripts of passing the ball a lot.
See, this pick doesn't. Wentz at 10 doesn't bother me. It really don't. I
think that Phillip Rivers should be at 10. I don't think he should be at 10. Honestly,
but I can see Carson Wentz throwing 35 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
I mean, maybe, but I can see Phillip Rivers throwing 40. So
they run the ball too much, bro.
Keenan Allen.
Phillip Rivers is way better quarterback than
I have Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, he's a better quarterback. But we talking about fantasy.
What we really mean to say is Phillip Rivers has had a better career than Carson Wentz, which no one is going to argue.
Yeah.
When I talk about stuff, I don't talk about. When I talk about stuff, I talk about fantasy because I play fantasy for money, and I would rather have Phillip Rivers being my head quarterback than Carson Wentz.
Well, that's fine. For me, that's fine because they're all in this third tier. So if you switch that around, for me, I will have no complaints.
Phillip Rivers should be the top 12 in the top 12. The way I see it, because there's 12. The leagues I play, there's either 12 or 14. So whenever it's a top, you need a top 12 quarterback, and I think Phillip Rivers should be in the top 12.
And also, Phillip Rivers is going to have more 300-yard games passing than Carson. And Carson has to stay healthy.
Carson Wentz also run the ball too, Mo.
I just want.
I know you run the ball.
Yeah, what's up,
I just want Jamal to say that last thing one more time about Carson
staying healthy.
Staying healthy.
One more time.
He needs to stay healthy.
Thank you.
True. Let's keep in mind, though, this is football. Everybody got to stay healthy.
I call him a gimp. But I call him a gimp.
Phillip Rivers doesn't miss games like that, like Carson does.
Rivers, I remember the playoff when Phillip Rivers had a broken leg and he was hopping out there he was still hopping out there passing the ball. No, this guy, they don't make him like those guys anymore.
I do think that Jameis Winston is ranked way too high though.
Okay.
I think both of them are.
All right.
All right.
I
Let's
got
go on
you.
to the next
I'm
tier.
gonna go to my tier 4.
Okay, I understand him with Carson though.
I go to my tier 4. Chico Brown, I hope you listening, baby. Okay, let me go to my next. Let me go to my next tier. 15, Dak Prescott. 16, Ben Roethlisberger. 17, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Wait, Big Ben wasn't he the number 1 quarterback last year?
No, it was Patrick Mahomes.
No, Mahomes was number 1.
No, after Patrick Mahomes.
I thought he was number 3 after Matt Ryan. But let me finish my tier list though, man. I finish my list.
Okay.
15, who I left off? Dak Prescott. 16, Ben Roethlisberger. 17, Jimmy Garoppolo. 18, Mitchell Trubisky. 19, Lamar Jackson. 20, Tom Brady. 21, Josh Allen. and 22, Kirk Cousins.
I feel a smack coming on. I feel a smack coming on.
I think Kirk Cousins is way too low on that list.
Yeah, you tripping on Kirk Cousins.
I don't like Kirk Cousins, and I think he's way too low, and I hate Kirk Cousins.
Because I'm like, you can't have Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs and be 22
and
like.
It's not that, Carter. It's that the quarterbacks is so deep, bro. The quarterbacks is so deep this year.
Yeah,
in fantasy,
but come on, man. Come on. He should be higher.
That's fine. I can't.
Okay, well, let's talk about.
You put Jameis Winston a tier above Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
You put him 10 quarterbacks ahead.
Oh yeah, like that.
12 quarterbacks ahead.
Okay, but the one
Jameis Winston has never had a 4,000-yard season, but Kirk Cousins has.
Yes.
Okay, but let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Are you sure with Jameis Winston having had a 4,000-yard season? You better go check your research.
He put Brady at number 20, and he put Lamar Jackson.
Well, Brady ain't a good fantasy
at 19
though.
Brady is not a good. Brady is a very good fantasy quarterback.
Well, you know what? Let me answer this for you right quick, because I know we pushed on time. Let me answer this for you right quick. Brady at 20, because I think the Patriots will be a run-heavy team. Without Gronkowski, I don't think he has no more than a 24-touchdown upside. And I don't think he's going to be throwing the ball that heavy anymore. The defense, to me, will be better, and they will win the game with running in defense. But let me finish my overall analysis before we go on the back and forth.
Okay.
And, to me, he will have a better defense. The Patriots will win games by 17-10. It's not going to be shootout games no more, which he will have some, because this is the season and things happen. But I just don't see him as that top-rate quarterback. Now, as far as Lamar Jackson, when he became the starter, he was the number 8 ranked quarterback from when he became the starter to the end of the fantasy season. And from that alone...
but the reason why is because he was running.
But that's a part of his game, though. That's a part of his skill set. So his skill set brings rushing yards, bro.
Okay,
but
just let him
finish.
Let him finish.
Let me finish before you want to go back and forth with me. I know you want to go back and forth, but his running is a part of his skill set and who he is as a player. So if that goes into him being ranked as the 8th best fantasy quarterback from when he started to the end of the season, you can't take that away from him, because that's a part of him. But go ahead, my man.
Okay, number 1, he's a running quarterback. He played for 8 games, right? He ran the ball. He cannot pass the ball. What's going to happen when the defenses realize if I'm just a Mezio fantasy sitting on the side watching the games, don't you think the defensive coordinator is going to realize that this fool can't pass the ball, and they're going to stop? They're going to block the holes. He's a running quarterback. You can only run so much. He can't pass the ball. And now Brady has. You made a good point. They got five running backs on the team right now. But every single one of those running backs can catch the ball. Every single one of them can catch the ball. So Brady's still going to get points by passing the ball to them. He's still going to get points.
I think that y'all, Cam, when you say that the Patriots are going to be a run-heavy team, I think that the Patriots are very good at sculpting their plays to the team that they're playing. So some weeks you may be right about that. And don't forget that Julian Edelman and all of their weapons are very good short pass catchers. And so Brady's not a deep ball thrower anyway. So I think that some games they will be more run heavy depending on the team they play. In some games they'll be more 10-yard, 7-yard. This is the Patriots we talking
Yeah, but
about.
but they don't run the ball. When they run the ball, they run the ball by passing it. They pass the ball.
That's why I was
when
about
they
to
run the
speak on
ball,
that. I was about
but
to
when
speak
they
on
run
that,
the ball,
actually.
but when they run the ball, it's against teams that don't have good run defenses, or they don't have to be a pass heavy or a run heavy team. They are very good at sculpting and scripting their plays.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say for points, we're talking about points on quarterbacks, right?
Specifically.
So when he passes the ball, when Brady passes the ball to those the running backs, he's passing short passes. He's still getting points for that.
Right.
He's still getting points for that.
But Blaze, how many points is he getting? How many points is he getting from a full 5-yard reception for a running back and a 7-yard reception from Edelman's? Because like you said, those passing are extensions of running games, which means they will be nickel and diming their way down the field. He's not gonna have chances to really be explosive like that, to put up really big explosive numbers.
But all it take is a missed tackle, Cam.
That's a lot, dude. That's not a given. That's not a given in every game.
I don't think that. But I don't think that's this New England team. I don't think that's their game, though. Maybe White can break a tackle or two, but I mean, without Gronk there, that was their big game.
Who's their number 2 receiver, y'all? I want y'all to name their number 2 receiver.
Wasn't it White? White was
White is a running back. Who's their number 2 receiver?
No, I know he was. Yeah, he was a running back, but he was passing the ball.
But who's their number 2 receiver outside of Edelman's? They have a rookie named N'Keal Harry, but he's been doing horrible in minicamp now. So that must mean it's gonna be Edelman's and Philip Dorsett. That's the 1-2 punch, unless they get Josh Gordon back. Now Josh Gordon come back, that'll be something different.
But they got what's name from the guy that got dropped by Houston. Remember he used to.
He's coming off an ACL. He's coming off an Achilles injury, but he may not be ready till September.
Tom Brady's game and New England's game is predicated on the team that they are playing that week.
We understand that. We're not saying
some games they will run heavy, and some games Brady will complete 25 passes, have 300 yards.
Hey, I feel like after 15, it's all academic anyway. To be honest with you,
basically,
but basically, if Tom Brady's 15 or 20 in fantasy, I mean, basically he's not a number one.
Number one quarterback. Yeah, he's not a number one quarterback. Because in the 10-team league...
I agree with that.
Yeah, in the 10-team league, the top 10 quarterbacks is number 1. 12-team, top 12. So he's not a number 1 quarterback. But one question to you, Blade. The defense knew last year Lamar Jackson couldn't pass. In 8 games plus 2 playoff games, did they learn how to stop him?
They didn't. No. They had
exactly,
no
Big Jack.
Yeah, but come on, Cam. Come on, man.
I think it
so,
is.
But also, you was also betting on him.
You asked me a question. Let me talk now. Okay, you come on, man. Cam, you know that they're going to look at the tape. You know what happens the next year. The next year, they're going to be ready for him. That's the first year. The first year when quarterbacks come, they look awesome because they're not ready for them. Next year, every team, every defensive coordinator in the league is going to be watching and making schemes for him. They're gonna realize that this guy can't pass the ball. They don't know. Big
Jack.
Now here's my thing. Here's my thing.
One thing right here. Go ahead, Jack. Now I want to ask you a question. One thing, my man Blaze.
Just to get Blaze off this. You guys are basing everything with Lamar Jackson on the 8 games that he played. The 8 games that he played. All right.
That's why he shouldn't be at 19. Okay. He shouldn't be you.
But
thank you.
But Big Jack, let me say this one thing.
No, hold on. You guys let Big Jack talk, man. He hasn't really said nothing. Let's give him a chance to. Yeah.
You're saying that the defense has got everything lined up. They know everything he's gonna do off the 8 games that he played, which basically it was his first time on the field, so he was still playing in his college form. Mm-hmm. He was still playing his college form, which got him the Heisman Trophy. But now that he's got time to get in there and get his receivers and play and been in practice, and now you're gonna see a whole different new Jackson coming out. Don't base what you seen last season from the 8 games that he played when he first stepped on the field and was still playing in his college formation.
That's what exactly I was about to say. Blade is banking on for him.
What he did off just 8 games.
Yeah, Blade is banking off him not to take the next step. Not to take the next step passing this year. The Duke can take a next step passing this year.
Wait. One at a time, guys.
How many guys got the Heisman Trophy that are not playing football now?
A lot.
Okay.
But also Blaze also think he's going to stay as the same quarterback in his mind. He cannot take a next step as a young player. He can't take a next step throwing the ball. So in your mind,
if you're in college, if you're in college and you're finishing college, and what school did he go to?
University of Louisville.
Okay, you're telling me you went to that university and you can't pass the ball?
No, he passed the ball in college, bro.
How many times?
I don't know, but I know he had bonkers yards and stats.
Blaze, that big ass TV you got in your house, you didn't see none of his games?
I saw all his games.
Listen,
it's not gonna be the same person.
We're gonna see. Okay, so
we'll see. Let's
move
on.
Going down the rabbit hole too deep. Let me just say both of y'all points are valid because there are adjustments that the league makes to quarterbacks, and there are also adjustments that quarterbacks have to make to those adjustments. So it's all about seeing if Lamar can.
I can't read it. It's too early for me. Like, I couldn't
haven't even
flip a coin on Lamar Jackson. I couldn't.
All right,
but at the same time, you do have to give credit to defenses for adjusting too. So we'll see.
Yeah, but also you got to give a player as a young player to take the next step, bro. These dudes young.
I just said that.
I know. I'm just
yes, I agree with you, but I agree with you, but that would be in the old NFL. And the old NFL, when a rookie came and the rookie sat on the bench and learned from the veteran. But the new NFL,
what is wrong?
The new NFL is a sink and swim. They kick you in the water with the sharks, and you better swim.
I got you, bro. If that's the way you feel, bro, I can't knock it, man.
Like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't start how many years?
Aaron Rodgers got screwed. He should have started way before he did.
The old NFL also, you couldn't, if you push the player out of bounds while they had the ball in the air.
It's the touchdown and the catch. Yeah. But let me go through these last three quarterbacks right quickly, man. Let me finish up. The last three is Sam Darnold, Marcus Mariota, and Andy Dalton. The last three that wrap up the top 25 quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're garbage anyway. So
just to wrap it up, you know what I'm saying? So
make sure you always wrap it up. Sponsored
I'm just going to tell you this.
Sponsored by
Ricardo.
I'm going to make a bet. I bet you any money that Winston's going to be. He's not next year. He won't be playing. He won't be a starter.
I wouldn't take that bet.
Okay, and then the next bet I'm going to say, I'm sorry, Big Jack, but your guy is not going to be a stud next year. He's not going to be passing the ball.
19 is not a stud, bro. 19 is not a stud.
Well, I think Brady will be better than him.
In fantasy?
In fantasy.
It can happen. I mean, they're all in the same tier, bro. Like I said before.
And I'd like to just point one thing out on Lamar Jackson as well. Let's keep in mind that the offense, the entire offensive scheme was geared for Flacco. Right?
Thank you.
So now let's see what they do with an entire offseason.
Yeah, Greg Roman, the OC now. So
yep. So let's see what they can do when they create an entire. Because remember, there's a lot of things that these teams saw in those 8 games last year. They probably are not going to. No, they're definitely not going to see this year.
It's a new coordinator, bro. And Greg Roman was also the offensive coordinator for Colin Kaepernick.
I also bet you that RG3 is going to probably play. They're going to put RG3 to play more of the games.
Man, what about my boy Nick? What about my boy Nick Foles, man? Where you got my boy Nick Foles at?
I got him at 20. I got him at 20. I got him at 28, man. Got him at 28.
He next to Eli on the bench.
I put Nick Foles higher than a lot of these guys that he has up there.
Yo. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Sports Cypher, where we strive to give the people what they want.
Tom Brady at 20.
The North.
Cut all of that out. Except for me.
The North.
Stop hating on Jackson.